sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sin. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am giving you all a massive shout out for all the love and support you all give me here. I am grateful. Thank you all so much. So today we'll be talking something really very important, and it's about a white man who is crazy, because he is a crazy person to ask that kind of question to a black man. Why is it that each time they see black people doing great, amazingly well for them, they feel like they cannot earn something like this, or maybe they got it through the back door and all that? Like, anytime they see an educated African American man, they always want to try and look for a way to tear them down. I mean, like, how? This kind of question really, when I see them act like this, it makes my skin crawl. Like, how do an old person ask this kind of question? Like, man, he earned his place. That black man earned his place. He worked for it and he got it. And you got the nerves to ask him, how did you get it? How did it happen? I mean, such a rare and cis question. And these people really are unbelievable. Like, they really do not want to see black people prosper. They always ask questions, how did you get this? How, you are a black person. They make it like, they ask this kind of question like, you are not supposed to get something like this. Are you being real right now? Are you for real? You know what? I am just going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, because people actually canceled him. And while he was asking the question, I saw a white woman, she was shaking her head in shock because of the question. So straight up, I am rolling the clip.
Meanwhile, in North Carolina, good Lord, y'all. These racist-ass Republicans, they just can't help themselves these days. Take a listen to GOP lawmaker as he poses an insanely racist-ass question to a black colleague, Representative Abraham Jones, about how he was admitted to Harvard. But don't believe me, just watch. Press play.
Representative Jones, does the gentleman yield to a question from the gentleman from Iredell, Representative McNeely?
I absolutely will yield. Yes,
he yields. Representative Jones, I want to ask you the question is, I understand that you went into public school and you went to Harvard and Harvard Law. And the question, I guess, is, would you have been able to maybe achieve this if you were not an athlete or a minority or any of these things, but you were a student trapped in a school that the slowest, in the wild, we'll say the slowest gazelle does not survive, but yet the herd moves at that pace. So the brightest child sometimes is held back. And don't be
point of order. Gentleman may say his point of order.
Okay, I'm hoping I wasn't the only one that got shocked by that comment, that the only reason you went to Harvard is because you were black and an athlete?
No, I did not say that. I said, did that end up being one of the reasons? I do not know that. I asked him this. Right. I asked him this.
Okay, all right. I don't mind answering. I just want to say that I'm just going to say one thing. Harvard had 5 rankings for their students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I graduated from Harvard, I was in rank 2. So I earned my place, and I did well.
And Mr. Neely had the caucasity to sit up there and say he didn't say what he just said. Oh, you said it, and it came out just the way you meant it. And they always go back to affirmative action, and hell, it's the least you could do since your ass ain't gonna give us reparations. But I digress. And why do black and brown people always have to justify and explain our accomplishments and our achievements? Oh, and just in case you've been under a rock somewhere, this the same party that has disenfranchised black folk at every turn and every chance they have gotten. And whether it be voter suppression, voter ID, racial gerrymandering, oh, let me count the ways. You see, people like Mr. McNeely, they have become comfortable in their racism. And what was once said privately is now being said in public. And you can thank Colt 45, their cult leader, for that. And of course, Mr. McNeely offers some BS apology. And you can miss us with that. Now, God did say we had to forgive, but it don't have to be today. And Mr. McNeely, did you know that 43% of white students at Harvard's campus, did you know they got there through legacy admissions? Yeah, let that part marinate for a second. And while you're doing that, please understand that the real affirmative action in this country is whiteness. And those would be facts on facts on facts on facts on top of facts. Mr. McNeely, carry on.
Mr. Speaker, can I ask the representative a question?
Representative Jones.
Please go watch this entire video. This came across my For You page, and let me just say, I am shocked, galled, disgusted. Representative Abe Jones yielded the floor in the North Carolina legislature to Representative Jeff McNeely. And that piece of garbage disrespected him so badly that I'm shocked that he even exists in the world. This piece of human trash stood up in front of God and everyone and said the most white, privileged, fat, greasy, racist, bow tie wearing, plaid jacket having ass shit I've ever heard. He needs to be removed from office.
Yo, how would you respond to this right here?
Representative Jones, I want to ask you the question is, I understand that you went into public school and you went to Harvard and Harvard Law. And the question, I guess, is, would you have been able to maybe achieve this if you were not an athlete or a minority?
I'm just going to say one thing. Harvard had 5 rankings for their students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I graduated from Harvard, I was in rank 2. So I earned my place, and I did well. Now,
I might have also said something like, yo, do you think you would have been elected to public office without being able to benefit from a legacy of slavery, genocide, and oppression, and having your mediocrity pass for exceptionality, all because of your skin color? Furthermore, do you think you could compete with me on a level playing field without having an entire system of white affirmative action help you and assist you? And if you're white and somebody white says that in your presence, you should probably say something like this. Excuse me, but that comment was extremely racist, and this is why. That comment presupposes and assumes that a black person does not have the intellect, will, determination, and might to get into a highly selective school without some type of outside assistance. Furthermore, it removes the context of why there would have to be an affirmative action program in place. We can't act like those systems aren't in place because of a history and legacy of slavery, genocide, and oppression, which is something that we as white folks unfortunately have benefited from in this system. Now, how would you respond? Let me know in the comment section.
The caucasity is unbelievable.
Jones, I want to ask you the question is, I understand that you went into public school and you went to Harvard and Harvard Law. And the question, I guess, is, Would you have been able to maybe achieve this if you were not an athlete or a minority? I'm hoping I wasn't the only one that got shocked by that comment that the only reason you went to Harvard is because you were black and an athlete. I did not say that. I said, did that end up being one of the reasons? I do not know that.
Harvard had 5 rankings for their students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I graduated from Harvard, I was in rank 2. So I earned my place, and I did well. Yeah.
White people, and those you know who I'm talking to, why do you feel like you got to question a black man or woman when they have gone to any college? Not just Harvard, but any college, and question whether or not they had the ability to get in, or the only reason they got in was because they were an athlete or they were a minority. The question in itself shows already why we have to have HBCUs in the first place. But we shouldn't have to prove ourselves when we've proven ourselves enough. The fact that he graduated from Harvard is enough. The fact that any person of color has graduated from a predominantly white institution or Ivy League schools, that is enough to say that they have done the work. But for some reason, you always got to question our skin color. So if you're questioning our skin color on why we have achieved what we have achieved, then you know for a fact there's bigotry, discrimination, prejudice, and racism in this country, in schools and colleges, and in the workforce. We have had to work 3 times as hard, have to be 3 times better than the average white person that has had to go to these schools. Am I saying that there aren't smart and intelligent and bright white children or young adults going to these schools? No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I do know, that some of them get a whole library put in their grandfather's name, and that's how they get into school. Or they give a certain amount of money to the school. Or they have legacy admissions to go inside these schools where they really don't have to do the work. Maybe you might want to ask Brett Favre about that. But I'm sure tired of these disrespectful, racist, bigoted people that don't respect our hard work. Jokers.
So this is all I got from the stitches, and I am gonna say this. Why are these people not shameless? I mean, why do they not have shame? Because I don't know. As a young person, there are some questions I cannot even ask someone in this life. And an older, I mean like an elder, because that man is an elder. I mean, thinks it is okay to ask a black man this kind of question. Why do they always question black excellence? Why do they always question black people's success? Because this is not the first time I am seeing this. I mean, come on. It's crazy. Waking up and asking a question like this. I mean, like in a conference. And I saw a white woman who she actually, when the questions started coming, she waved her head. She was like, yo, we are in for this again. Man, it sucks. I am tired of seeing something like this, man. It's the caucasity. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, this is where I am gonna draw the curtain. Thank you all so much for all the support. I appreciate you all. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.